The Texas Love Doc helps couples navigate this new chapter. Welcome to the show, Dr. Viviana Coles with Texas Relationship Therapy.
Thank
How are you,
so
Viviana?
much. I'm really excited to talk about this topic. This is the time of year to know what to do next.
Absolutely. Now, silly question. What is an empty nester? And I'm guessing with these lovely folks here on the show, real folks, not actors or models, you might think they are, but these are real folks who are also empty nesters. So what is an empty nester?
Empty nest is a term to talk about just like what you said. It's kids that have moved out of their home to go to college, to move away for a job, and there's an empty nest. There's a home that has two people where there used to be 3, 4, 8, and now they're trying to figure out how to fill those gaps.
Yeah,
a little peace and quiet is what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, two people, if the couples are still married, sometimes a single parent is left at home. Now, what I have found, Jennifer and I were talking before the show, her parents couldn't wait to get the kids out of the house.
You go make money, get a job.
And my mom is still asking me when I'm going to move home. So I'm assuming that everyone is a little different, but we're going to find out
from our two couples. We have Wendy and Andy Starr and Gail and Norman Stallero.
Very good.
Welcome working on
to the
that
show,
last name.
everyone. So how's it going so far? And tell us a little bit about your situation.
I think it's going great. We miss the boys, of course. We have 2 boys, and they're both at the University of Texas. But we were very thoughtful about this time in our lives, and we're having fun. I mean, we're doing what we want to do. Norman's busy flying. He got his pilot's license, which is a wonderful gift that he gave to himself. And
did you guys plan though over the course of 5, 10 years for this time when the boys are going to be gone?
I wouldn't say we planned it, but we did talk about it, and we made sure that it was like I joke and I say it's like the Diana Ross song. It's our turn, So now it's our turn, and they're having a good time, and they're getting a good education, we hope, and.
So, Dr. Coles, is that one of the things that you need to talk about it before it happens?
I think you absolutely need to talk about it before it happens. And I do recommend that it happen 10 years out, 5 years out, continuing 1 year out, just to make sure that you're on the same page about what you're going to do when that door closes and it's just the two of you left looking at each other. That can be a very fulfilling thing to do. Have a talk about it and then revisit it as maybe things change in your life, like maybe finances change or a location change, or if one kid decides to come back, we can talk about that. But you want to make sure that you're talking about it so that you're not assuming it's going to look one way and then your partner's like, I'm going to want it to go this way, and then you go different ways.
Yeah. Now, Wendy and Andy, tell me about your experience.
So our youngest, we have 3 children, and our youngest has been gone now for 2 years. So we've been empty nesters now. This will be our 3rd year. So we've had a chance to make the transition, and I would say in our case, we talked about it, but we didn't make any plans ahead of time. We said, let's wait and experience what life is going to be like with just the 2 of us, and then let's decide what direction we want to go from there.
Did you guys start taking like some long weekends and doing some things without the kids there?
While they were still home, or once they were gone?
While they were still home to kind of get prepped and get ready?
No, but we had 3 children, so we saw one leave, and then a couple of years later, the other one left, and each time the children that were still left behind, they were very active and involved, so we didn't have time to stop being a parent until the last one went away to college, and that's when we said, okay, now let's sit and think about what direction we want to go in, and I've gotten involved in volunteering with child advocates, and my husband has done a startup business, which is keeping him very busy.
So is it more difficult on the moms than the dads?
I think that they would tell you it is, but the dads just tend to show and express the changes that they're feeling a little bit differently. I don't know that it's tougher. It's just going to look different.
In Wendy's case, though, Wendy was a stay-at-home mom, though. So once her kids flew the coop, she had to find a few things to occupy her time. And do you find that, I mean, in terms of the men having an easier time, they're still going to work every day. But if you're a stay-at-home mom and suddenly you're getting back into the career field.
So that's the big difference that I see, is that there's a change of identity that needs to happen. And sometimes it can go a lot more smoothly for the men because they tend to get up to go to work or have whatever it is that their routine is. But for the moms, especially stay-at-home moms, a lot of their identity is wrapped up in being a mom. And when you're not a full-time mom anymore, you can feel that in probably every hour of the day. So it is a little bit different for moms.
And Gail and Norman, you're both very busy. A screen printing company, a financial advisor. Now, I understand you have made goals to exercise together. What are the things in your free time that you have found you've been able to do now that you couldn't before?
You know, I'd like to tell people, and I say it when she's not here, I am very fortunate. I'm married to someone who I think is very beautiful. She's very successful in her career as a financial planner. And she embraces all my crazy habits, you know, that I like to do. You know, if I want to go play golf, she says, go play golf. You know, I want to go fly, she goes, go fly. She also is not a good flyer, but she has agreed that she would go flying with me. So we'll go.
She tolerates your hobby.
She tolerates my hobbies, right. And, you know, we've gone, you know, she'll go, I'm going to invite, you know, another couple, and we'll go fly somewhere to have dinner, and she goes. And it's really not easy for her, but she does it.
Do you guys think it's a time in your life to rekindle a friendship and to rekindle even the romance again?
I'm
in on that one.
I will say she's an amazing mom, first of all. And that it almost was that her reason to be, and she devoted everything to our kids, which I loved. As a dad, I wanted that kind of mom for my kids. But I will tell you that since they've gone out of the house, all of a sudden I'm back in the picture, and I'm more of the center of attention, and it's kind of neat.
Loving it.
Yeah. It sort of reminds me of the old days when I was the star of the show. So. And it's in a way it can be a second honeymoon.
So when the kids come back home, is that cramping your style now?
A little bit. It's you know,
Love it for a while, and then
there's a lot of things you can do around the house when you're alone. When you have the kids, it's a little harder.
Viviana, let me ask you, I think for some parents who are maybe having a hard time with this empty nest syndrome, how important is it for parents to keep that open line of communication with their kids? Not only each other, but with their kids.
Absolutely, because it's not just about the two of you. Your kids, this is a new experience for them too. So opening up those lines of communication, letting them know how you're feeling, letting them know that you miss them and that you welcome calls, because they may not know what's okay and what isn't. They might take their cue from other kids that are going through something, but they're from different families. So making sure that you're opening up those lines of communications is absolutely important.
Well, I will say one thing that's very different. I'm sure it was with Norman as well, because we're about the same age. But when we went off to college, we didn't see our parents and talk to them that was part of the reason, was to get away from them. With all the communication that's available now, some days I feel like they're still around. With FaceTime and texting, and I'll come home and she's exhausted from having dealt with the kids and they're not even here. So it's...
So what kind of advice would you guys give to people that are going through this right now?
In my estimation, I would say don't panic. Don't assume you have to have something planned and ready or your life falls apart. Give it some time, make an adjustment, see what life is like with just the two of you or without the noise or the laundry or whatever, and then decide what's the best direction to go from there.
And when you say see what life is like, Dr. Viviana, I want to ask you, some couples may find that their life is, they're fighting and that there are problems. So is this a time when a lot of couples find themselves going to see a counselor?
I think that it is. And what I've seen with my clients is that it's not so much the relationship with their kids, it's that they don't really know what's okay. I've spoken to some of you, and some of you have adjusted to this really well, and your partner, maybe not as well as quickly. That can create a divide that if you can't feel like you can really share what you're feeling because it might bring your partner down or because they feel so differently or they won't understand you, that can break down a lot of communication in all aspects of the relationship.
Well, listen, clearly we have a lot to talk about, so do not worry. The Texas Love Doctor and our couples are sticking around.